All right, happy Wednesday night, everybody. We call it What If Wednesday in Raiderland, where we go down the alternate history road. We got some Texas Tech football history we're going to look at tonight. We also have Texas Tech reality right now, where we ask the question if Texas Tech wins 10 games this year, how will you feel? It's the great expectations question, isn't it? Yes. All of that in our favorite story out of Texas Tech football camp so far this year. Anything and everything in between. Your comments are always welcome thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street. So jump in on the chat line tonight, whether you're on our YouTube channel at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter X and on our Facebook page, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, all free. All of them are free. So subscribe to everything. Watch where you want. Be a part of it wherever you are, and then share it with your friends. All right, let's get going. Hold on. There we go. A little bit of product placement there. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, where you start your day every day on the website. Question of the day, Raiderland hot links, the coolest, freshest, awesome links from around Raiderland and beyond. We figure if we like it, you're going to kind of like it. So tonight we're brought to you by Fire and Ice Outdoor Living in Lubbock. Woodrow Road over there by Cooper High School, easy to get to. And whether you're into grilling, smoking, even, hey, maybe you're just looking for awesome, like, rubs and spices, barbecue sauces, Traeger stuff, whatever it may be, you need to drop by Fire and Ice. They're going to make your outdoor living so cool. And with tailgating coming up, they got so many tailgating supplies over there at Fire and Ice. You just got to go over there. Also brought to you by Ninja Pest Control. I don't know why they call it pest control, because ninjas hate pests. They kill them. So Ninja Pest Control in Lubbock, they're ready to go to work for you, killing stuff, bugs and whatnot, cockroaches, things, that fly around and everything. I just like the idea, ninjas going after pests. Now, their technicians do not actually dress like ninjas. I've investigated this. I think they should at Ninja Pest Control. And everybody gets in on the United Supermarkets chat line tonight. Your thoughts, your comments, everything else on a What If Wednesday, where we go down the rabbit hole of what if. What if Texas Tech hires Sonny Dykes instead of Kiff Kingsbury in 2012? What happens over the last decade if it's Sonny Dykes coming out of Louisiana Tech with good success following Derek Dooley, that he would turn into a job at Cal, which was the absolute wrong job for Sonny Dykes to take? What happens if he takes the Tech job, or if they offer it? All right, you tell me. That's What If Wednesday. Now you guys get in on the United Supermarkets and Market Street chat line. They support Texas Tech, other grocery stores. Swoop in here, take your money, send it down south, put it on scoreboards in Austin. You know who we're talking about. So we have that. And I do want to talk about my favorite storyline, and you guys can get in. We were doing this last night. Your favorite storylines out of Texas Tech football, so far in August, everything else. What do you like about what you're seeing? But we asked the question tonight specifically on Tech football. If Texas Tech wins 10 games this fall, how will you feel? What will your emotions be? And why? Law dog. Like I know a lot of go around here, savvy. They totally should dress like ninjas. I think they should. In fact, I think, a lot of us once a week, you ought to be allowed to dress like a ninja. I mean, I would be a moderately portly old ninja, but when you put the ninja suit on, I think they would respect me more when I go to Market Street. Like, oh man, he's kind of old. He's got the gray hair, but damn it, he's dressed like a ninja. I'm going to let him have that, ribeye that we were both fighting over. We could do that. It could happen. All right. So what if Wednesday? We love alt history in Raiderland. This got started about a year or so ago. A friend of mine, great contributor to Raiderland, Robert C., said you ought to do a what if, you ought to do an alt history type thing once a week. I said, we can do that. Tonight's question, Tommy Tuberville bolts. Tommy Tuberville bolts in 2012, and you've got a decision to make on who to hire. Obviously, they go with Kiff Kingsbury, coming out of being the offensive coordinator after a very short time as a college football coach. What if they go with Sonny Dykes coming out of Louisiana Tech? Yeah, the son of the former head coach of Texas Tech and Spike Dykes. We all know the deal. Coming off a 9-win season, I believe, that year, he takes the Cal job, wrong job to take. And he talked about that later on. Would Sonny Dykes have had success at Texas Tech following Tommy Tuberville in 2012? What would it have looked like going forward? He would have inherited some talent. Jay Samaro, there was DeAndre Washington. Trying to think. No, not LaRaven. LaRaven Clark, was he on that? Yeah. If Texas Tech hires Sonny Dykes instead of Kiff Kingsbury, how does the rest of the decade play out? We've seen what Sonny Dykes has done at SMU and then TCU and winning a playoff game, playing in the national championship, all those things. TCU continued to recruit very well. Do you think he wins at Texas Tech? Yes or no? What would have happened? Pre-NIL, Texas Tech would have also had the backing of Rager Dykes Auto Group, which again, this is pre-demise of Bart Rager and everything else, and you guys know what happened. But pre-demise of that was kind of one of the big economic drivers, economic engines in Lubbock, Texas in 2012, 2013, 14, that you would have had that behind it. And I know we all know what happened with that. So kind of take that out. We're talking 2012. We're talking when Kiff was hired. What happens? You tell me. That's the what if Wednesday question. Now, the other question for Texas Tech fans, if Texas Tech wins 10 games this year, regular season, how will you feel? I want your comments. This is independent of anything else. I can't guarantee you anything. Texas Tech wins 10 games. I can't guarantee you playoff, Big 12 title game, anything else. Texas Tech wins 10 games. How will you feel? Hold on, I got to go back. There you go. Nice. Law Dog, glad to see you out there, man. Hey, get a free plug-in. Can people listen to your radio show and everything else online? Get a free plug-in for it. He's Oklahoma people, but he's good Oklahoma people. All right. All right, we go back up. Michael jumps in on our YouTube channel. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube, free. If that happens, I don't think TCU goes to the national championship. Deion Sanders would be coaching at TCU instead of Colorado and have more success there. Yeah, okay, you've got dominoes falling that I don't think would have fallen for a long time because, again, remember, this is 2012. This is when Kiff is hired, December 2012 into 2013 season. So I don't think any of that would have really played out that way on the dominoes. JC jumps in. One of our great YouTube people, JC. My man, JC. Sonny Dykes in Berkeley. I never knew, yeah. Dang, talking about fish out of water. Sonny might still be here, but would have but would have motivated money arrived. Well, okay, Sonny Dykes was on the staff when your big money guys were there with Mike Leach in the early 2000s. Sonny was an original assistant with Mike Leach coming in 1999, December 99. Well, actually, it was January 2000, but whatever. So yeah, he coaches your big money donors during that time frame. Offensive coach with an offensive lineman, not an offensive lineman. So there would have been that connection. There was that connection. In fact, it was the connection that probably kept Sonny Dykes out of the mix in 2012 when they go after Cliff. But you say that, well, why not Cliff? Well, Cliff never coached with Mike. There was a separation, you know? Flatland Sports jumps in on YouTube. Everybody on YouTube, please do a couple of things for me. Share this, give us thumbs up. Big time share it, invite your friends in, and put a comment, tag it, and say, hey, this is a decent dude. It's an okay show. We have fun. I've imagined the scenario that Sonny Dykes became head coach, retained Art Kaufman as DC, and picks up Kiff Kingsbury as OC. Thank you very much, Flatline Sports. Oh my God, he's flatlined. So Art Kaufman, a well-traveled DC that had pretty good success at Texas, I thought. And I still think the path for Kingsbury at that time would have been much better to go in as an established offensive coordinator and not a head coach. And that Sonny would have put together a more mature staff with much more expertise than Cliff was able to get, because a lot of people, Cliff he hadn't been coaching very long, and he certainly hadn't been coaching in college. At that point in 2012, Sonny Dykes has 15 years worth of connections and everything else, plus the spike connections. Cliff doesn't have anything. So what Flatland's talking about is the offense and the defensive coaches, I think, would have been much more experienced. Michael, I'd feel good. I don't think they'll beat Arizona State in Tempe. I'm asking the question tonight. Texas Tech wins 10 games this year. I can't promise you anything, but Texas Tech wins 10 games regular season. How will you feel and why? You tell me. All right. Kevin, mixed feelings depending on the two losses. By the way, Kevin McAlpin, chiropractor. That's right. He cannot legally use this as a slogan, but he should. If your back's out of whack, don't call it quack, call Kevin Mack. Great West Texan, Panhandle, Canyon Eagle, worked around high-level athletes at Texas Tech for decades. Sent my own family members there and said, hey, get them right. He did. That's why he's the official chiropractor of Raiderland. So mixed feelings depending on the two losses. All right, I can't give you the two losses. I think we all sit there and look at the schedule and go, your four toughest games are on the road. Take your pick. But 10 wins. 10 wins this year. How do you feel and why? Because quite frankly, anytime a Texas Tech football team can win 10 games, right? How many times has that happened? Ryan, Sonny has proven himself a winner. He would have had normal 7-8 win seasons instead of the step back under Cliff. Fair analysis. That you don't drop down. I think that's fair analysis. What if Wednesday, Sonny Dykes is hired instead of Kiff Kingsbury in 2012, replacing Tommy Tuberville? What happens to the Tech program a decade ago, going forward into the decade? 4, 5, 6 years. Where are you? What do you think happens? Would he have had success at Texas Tech? We've seen him have success at SMU and TCU, obviously at a high level. What do you think would have happened? Tell me in one. Texas Tech wins 10 games this year. This is the great expectations question. How do you feel if they win 10 games? Meanwhile, back in Oklahoma, Law Dog Sports, follow him on Twitter and everything else. Saturday night, 6 to midnight. There's the link. All right. Can we do a request? I want Ozark Mountain Daredevils on repeat. Flatland Sports, my memory was that Tuberville left Tech right after Dykes accepted the Cal job and was not available. He would have been available. Chris Beard left Little Rock and accepted the UNLV job and came to Texas Tech. Trust me, if Texas Tech had offered, I shouldn't say trust me, that's everybody's available. You could have hired him 100%, because that was what, the 13th, yeah, and I can't remember when he nailed down that job. You could have got him. Mark, I say 11-1 for the season. I didn't ask you what your prediction was. I said Texas Tech wins 10 games this year. How will you feel? I guess he'll feel bad. He thinks they're going to win 11 games. Defense will be the difference. Why Sonny was not hired in 2012? Well, Sonny's not hired in 2012, coming out of La Tech, because Kiff Kingsbury coached a guy named Johnny Manziel, and you had certain members of the Board of Regents and an ex officio, what do you call it, guy in charge of the university, president, something, chancellor, fell in love with the idea of Kiff Kingsbury healing all the wounds from the Mike Leach era, that he would heal all the wounds, that it would be great. And it was a steamroller. It became obvious fairly quickly that Kent Hance, the Board of Regents, they were going to bring Kiff Kingsbury back home. That you'd had the Mike Leach fiasco, departure, firing, all the crap that went on with that. Then you have Tommy Tuberville, who comes in recruiting well, but he had 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, didn't really want to be here, and obviously left. So you get somebody that you know is going to love you. Now, we also have to go back, and that was only 12 years removed from the firing of Spike Dykes. There were some people that didn't want anybody associated with Spike Dykes. Right or wrong, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And you had the idea that, Sonny had coached with Mike, and there was the whole connection. There were things that were negative that looking back, and even at the time, I don't think it should have been negative. But the Cliff hire was a hire to sell tickets, to feel good. And Kiff Kingsbury got hired at Texas Tech, and it was the only major university that would have hired Kiff Kingsbury at the time to make him a head coach. Offensive coordinator, absolutely. Head coach, it was the only job in America that would have given it to him. JC, 10 wins, nice, but not the goal. If 8 gets Tech to Arlington, then I'll take 9. Okay. Only solid country gold coming out of those speakers. I could tell there was something strange about this ride. What if Wednesday, Sonny Dykes hired 2012, not Kiff Kingsbury? What do you think happens? Would he have won at Texas Tech? Having watched his career arc over the last 13 years, what do you think happens? What do you think would have taken place at Texas Tech? Also, if Tech wins 10 games, If Texas Tech wins 10 games this year, how will you feel? Now, I got to jump in on one of my favorite storylines right now in Texas Tech, August camp. All right. It's John Curry. Now he's moved out to the star linebacker safety deal. We've heard Joey McGuire and other coaches talk about we got to get this guy on the field. The pride of Coronado. I'm not just saying that because he's a Coronado Mustang and he reminds me of me with a fantastic mustache game and everything else. But, and I assume most people know this, but I'm watching Curry play, and y'all know who his grandfather is, right? Most of y'all, I assume, know his mom is Jolie Ayers Curry, Lady Raider basketball, high recruit out of Canyon, Texas. I don't know if she won 1 or 2 state titles. Can't remember which. Played from 2000 to 2004 with the Lady Raiders. And that her dad was John Ayers, NFL offensive lineman, San Francisco 49ers. What, two Super Bowl wins there? I think maybe 2 or 3 with the Niners. And then he went to Denver in his last year. He was on the team that played in the Super Bowl that I think he was injured. He didn't play. Pride of West Texas State University, John Ayers, with just awesome mustache game. So when I see John Curry, I see that mustache, I think of that. But this is a West Texas kid with a great West Texas lineage. And you look at him and you go, well, yeah, he's a raw bone, tough West Texas guy. And he's not going to blow you away with his physique. I mean, he's cut, he's whatever. But this dude can play. And I love the fact that they're getting him on the field because it doesn't matter the position. Curry is a kid. He's a grown man. He can make plays. You have to get guys out there, I believe, 1 or 2 guys on the field at a given time that I don't care about the metrics. I don't care about the analytics. I don't care about anything. Is he a football player? Curry's a football player. Smart, just like his mom. His mom, brilliant basketball mind and probably brilliant football mind too. The hardest thing about dealing with when I was doing play-by-play for the Lady Raiders and his mom was there, so I had to deal with the fact that her dad had delivered one of the most crushing losses to me as a Cowboy fan, as a kid in the early '80s, in the catch game. That stung, that hurt, and I had to get over that. I had to accept that. Now, I'd been a Canyon Eagle. My dad coached at Canyon High in the '70s. When my dad was a coach at Canyon High, when her dad and John's granddad was playing at WT. I'd reconcile some emotions over the years with that. Wasn't easy. So I'm watching John Curry now, and that's really cool for me to see this. And I go back to, I think it was 2000 or 2001. I'm trying to remember the year. And the Lady Raiders go out and play a non-conference game. We played, I think we played at Stanford and at Santa Clara. I think we did a double deal. And we're playing at Santa Clara, which is obviously basically San Francisco. And Jolie is either a freshman or a sophomore. I can't remember which. And she's playing some, but whatever. The Chronicle, San Francisco Chronicle, the media came out to interview her and do a whole feature and everything because her dad was freaking royalty in the Bay Area. And watching and her coming back to play college basketball in the early 2000s was a major story out there regarding San Francisco 49ers and the Bay Area and Joe Montana and all this stuff. And she handled it gracefully. She handled it great. But that, kind of reinforced to me what John Ayers, number 67 and 68, I think he wore two numbers, 67, 68. But seeing her handle that and how that, and Coach Sharp was like trying to not protect her, but at the same time, here's a young college basketball player, and the massive media of San Francisco is descending upon this and wanting to talk to her as like this returning conqueror, and she handled it great. Jolie's awesome people. So that's kind of one of my favorite stories right now with John Curry. I mean, he did. It's not. I don't. Doesn't know me from Adam. Whatever. But I look at him and, man, I see that grandfather. I don't know how many Tech fans realize just how freaking good, how tough he was, his grandfather. And he was part of kind of that wrestling era. And we talk about Terry Funk, and we can go through all sorts of stuff on that. But you guys shouldn't be surprised that John Curry is one tough son of a bitch getting himself out there on the field because of where he comes from. And I love it. And I love the fact that they're getting him out there, because I think they're seeing the same thing and going, this dude can just play. This dude can just play. All right, jump in. Your questions, your comments. If Texas Tech wins 10 games this year, how will you feel? What if Wednesday Sonny Dykes hired 2012 instead of Kingsbury? How different would things have been? What happens? You tell me. I'm going to roll through the comments. As long as the comments are good, we're going to hang out. All right, let's get it going again. Chris, back on Facebook, Ryan Heights, Raiderland, everybody on there, share, hit like. Sonny coming to Tech always felt like the timing never fit for either party. If they hired him in 12, he would have had success here. And I agree that there was always kind of just this schism, this miss, and whatever. And then certainly when Matt Wells is hired, the Rager Dykes Auto Group fiasco, financial problems that come to light, it was not possible at that point. 100% I agree. Conference championship is the box I want checked, not win total. I didn't give you that option, JC. I said win total. I said 10 wins. You can go to the championship game and win it with 10 wins. Mark, Zach Thomas, undersized, but he could make plays. He was not really undersized, really, but he just didn't check all the boxes that maybe the NFL wanted. He didn't run a 4.4. Undersized for a middle linebacker, not necessarily so. This Canyon to Texas Tech pipeline has been massive success for Texas Tech. Well, Cody Campbell thinks so. And I mean, I came out of Canyon in 1979. Now I had to stop off in Lubbock and graduate from, high school and everything else. But yeah, I was a Canyon Eagle. I mean, me, Cody Campbell, Jolie Ayers, Kenny Whitaker, right? Law dog, go around here, Savvy. If Tech wins 10 games, I'll feel like they will be the second Big 12 team to win a playoff game. Can't wait to watch Jacob Rodriguez, J-Rod, Wichita Falls rider. Yeah, and he's going to look better this year because he's got so much help up front. The linebackers should look really good this year. JC, yes, Curry has to be on the field and will. How fun for the fan. I don't care what anyone says, Flatland. I would be thrilled with 10 wins. I would hope you would be. I would hope anybody would be thrilled with 10 wins. Ryan, 10 wins means another step forward in building momentum. Great result, but disappointing if no playoff berth. Hey, get ready for it because there are going to be 6 teams fighting for the Big 12 title. There are going to be multiple double-digit win teams. Somebody's going to be left out. I'm not saying if it's Tech, you should feel good about that. I'm saying that's going to be the lay of the land in the Big 12 right now, that you could have an absolutely double-digit team not getting in the playoff. Reality. Norman, the Loons, Norman, the Loons. Norman and Ketty Grimes in track, yeah. Mary Johnson in track. Gene Adel in track. Billy Bender in track. I can throw out some names. All right, we busted the time. That's cool. Ninja Pest Control. They don't control pests; they kill them. I think it should be Ninja Pest Killers wearing ninja uniforms, but they didn't ask me. If you're in Lubbock, you're looking for some pest control. You got to kill some stuff. Ninja Pest Control, the official pest killers wearing ninja uniforms from Raiderland. Also brought to you tonight by Fire and Ice Outdoor Living. They have an amazing Facebook page. Fire and then in the letter Fire in Ice. They do cool stuff on the weekends. They have product testing and everything else. Go check it out. And then everybody getting in tonight on United Supermarkets and Market Street on the chat line. We're going to archive this in a little bit, put it on the webpage, theraiderland.com. I need you guys to share that with your friends and everything else. All right. Can we do that tomorrow? Tonight? Can we do that? That'd be awesome if you could do that. And the show never ends. We're always available for you on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. If you hadn't subscribed to all of our platforms, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube and on Facebook, all free. Click, doesn't cost you anything. Watch where you want to watch. Get in on that stuff. It's pretty cool. It's not hard to do. All right, we had a great show tonight, I think. Not because of me, but because of you guys. You know? You guys make it happen. You guys make it fun. So we'll be ready to roll tomorrow. Who knows what we're going to talk about tomorrow? That's the cool thing about it. I know we're going to be with you in the morning, though. Overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday on the website in the morning. We rate things on Thursdays, sports or otherwise. So get ready to rate a few things. All right. See you in a few minutes here. No, I'm serious. I mean, I'm not going to see you personally, but you get the idea, you know.